Greetings, fellow alumni. My name is Maurice Marshall, alumni of Anacostia, class of 72. And to my right is my good friend and alumni member, also the vice president of our alumni group, Mr. Paul Jackson, class of 70. Together, we're here today sitting in the comfort of his home, and we're going to talk about getting alumni to come out and participate with us, among other alumni who have an interest in trying to build the Anacostia alumni group. Today I'm working with Mr. Jackson only because my president, Ms. Laverne Duckwilder, class of 67, had a prior commitment. I'm glad that Paul was available to help me out with this because we're trying to get more folks, more alumni to come together and help us out. At the meetings right now, we normally have alumni from the 60s, 70s, and 80s. And we're trying to fill those gaps in. Class of 67, 63, they're well represented. But we're trying to get more folks to come out from the 80s, the 90s, 2000s, all the way to 2014. All alumni are welcome. Main point is we're trying to grow this and make it exciting for folks that want to be a part of what we're trying to do. Now, I'm going to sit here and ask Mr. Jackson a few things that went on in his life after he graduated. I have a series of questions, and my first question to him is, after graduation, what was your first job and did it lead to a career?
Well, first part of that is that it led to the private sector. I took employment with C&P, telephone company. At that time, it is now Verizon. I worked with the telephone company for about 5 years. It did not lead to a career. I found out very early in my employment that I really wasn't someone who really was big on administration, and basically my spirit was one of being able to keep my avenues open and widen my horizon. So in a job regiment, it really wasn't conducive to that which was gratifying to me on a personal level.
Okay.
So I found out very early that business was more attractive to me than performing administrative tasks.
Okay. Number two, what was your most rewarding career accomplishment, and did your job recognize you for it? So many people are overlooked on whatever it is they do, and they feel short. But what was yours?
Well, mine wasn't a job accomplishment. What was most rewarding to me was when I was drawn to entrepreneurship. That which would allow me to be able to dictate my own income, my own outcome, where I could impact people with information and touch their lives not only personally but financially, as well as along the health and wellness aspect of their life. Mm-hmm. So that is what was most gratifying to me, that I was able to find that out early in life, and that information was very empowering. And my passion stems from that, in that I want to reach more young people with a perspective of how they can enhance their economic base and provide a means to be there for family and loved ones, financially as well as physically enhancing their health.
Great.
So that's what fuels my passion. And what makes it an added benefit is that people don't know that they can change their tax situation just by changing their occupation and making their occupation an avocation by taking on something of an entrepreneur nature that will allow you to have a better tax position. So all this is information. My daughter, she's currently in school right now. We're trying to get her to really embrace entrepreneurship once she graduates as a senior. She's been very receptive. She models, she dances, does a lot of different things. So hopefully we can reach her with the same information.
Sounds great. Nothing like being your own boss.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. How did the friendships you made at Anacostia impact your life there and after graduation? And are you still friends today?
Well, I feel blessed that I have a friend to my left.
Oh, great.
Yeah, you my brother.
Okay.
You and your wife have been a real benefit to me and my wife, Alfreda. We cherish our relationship with you and your wife. we've cultivated our friendship. We've even tried things of a business nature together. It's always nice when you can collaborate with people you enjoy being around and enjoy being with. So we're very appreciative of our friendship as well as our relations that have gone beyond the years of school. And then I still have retained friendships. One guy that I would mention to you, Dr. Lawrence Thurston. We interact even today. And he's impacted me with his information that he shared with us that really was complementary to the class of 70 having such a strong alumni group.
That's
and
true.
we want to use them as a role model. And he is the president of that class, and I consider him to be a friend, and our acquaintance goes beyond the school, and even to this day, along with him, he and his wife, we've been able to cultivate our relationship there as well.
Wonderful. Now, Larry played football in front of me. He was a senior when I was a sophomore, and he told me a lot about playing center when I first came to Anacostia. He's done extremely well in his career as well.
A doctor.
Dr. Larry Thurston.
Oh, yeah.
And he plays a vital role in our Anacostia alumni group, too. Paul,
Yes.
if you could have dinner with a historical figure, living or deceased, who would it be and what would you ask them?
It probably would be two that immediately comes to mind. Malcolm X. And people say, Malcolm X? Yeah. Because Malcolm showed me strength and being able to change his philosophy from being entrenched in what he thought was true to coming to find out what was really true and being able to take that information and act on it because it was bigger than just him personally, and that was of a spiritual nature. So I would very much like to sit down with him when it comes to how to reach people and impact them with not only religious values and philosophy, but family, the strength of family, how to impact family, not only personally, but economically and spiritually. And then the second person that comes to mind is the epitome of a family man, but exemplifies leadership in a phenomenal way, and that's our current president, Barack Obama.
Great.
I don't think that anybody could dispute the quality of man that he is and how he's represented Afro-Americans and blacks as a people with strength, with value of family. Not only intelligence, which speaks to education. He's strong on education, strong on family. His family, the first family, is representative of that. And he's impacted this country personally and economically on a political nature, and that speaks volumes.
Yes,
So
it does.
he's the epitome of someone that I would very much like to emulate, but have a conversation with, that I think would be a real benefit to enhancing the person that I am and how I can impact my family personally, as well as others that come into my life. Barack Obama.
I agree. Yep. He's what the world needed. Unfortunately, the world hasn't quite woke up to it yet.
That's true.
But he's exactly what they need.
Oh, yeah.
Paul, with our kids being in the turmoil that they're in, and one of the reasons of the alumni group is to mentor to them when we get to that level. But if you were to address a room full of graduating Anacostia seniors, how would you prepare them for the day's world?
Well, I would stress to them that you don't really have to be caught up on the status quo, so to speak, how people would perceive you to be. You could find your niche or make your own mark as far as what it is that fulfills your life, what it is that draws your nature, and what is harmonious with you on the inside. Money is okay, but money is just the en route to something that you do to get a return. But if your passion is great in what you do, then the work does not seem like work, because the gratification comes from and the fulfillment comes from your passion. You have to find something that you can be passionate about. All of us can't be athletes. All of us don't have the gifts of an athlete. Some are comedians, and there's tremendous benefit in being a comedian. You can do quite well.
That's right.
And some of us even know how to sing, but everybody don't know how to sing.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to find something that gives you passion
Mm-hmm.
and that draws you and that would allow you to pursue and money not just be the determining factor. So if I could reach young people, I would stress to them, find something that fulfills your passion. Find something that is a draw to you, that pulls you and gratifies you. And that won't seem like work. You can have a lifelong desire to fulfill that passion. Mm-hmm. And that can really make life rewarding and beneficial. And then the second thing that I would say to them most importantly is, it's okay to have a job because a job sustains you. Mm-hmm. But it's not okay to only have a job. You don't need two jobs. You need a business where you can dictate your income and your outcome. And you also need a job until you can reach that point. Because a job will allow you to have a living. Mm-hmm. But your business can provide you a life. And that's what is important.
Great, great. Last question. How do you want the world to remember you, and why is that important?
Well, when you get my age, it's no longer about the house. It's no longer about how many cars you have. We have them. It's no longer about the clothes on your back or the jewelries that adorn you. Any jewelry that might make you look good. It comes down to realizing that you have a date that you were born, which you didn't have anything to do with, and you have an ending date when my father will call you home. In between that, you have a little dash. And that dash is the essence of the life you live and the people that you have impacted. And if you can increase that dash, that speaks to the life you live and those that you impacted. The question arises, who outside of your immediate family know that you live, that you were even here on this earth? Who outside of your immediate family know who you were or who you was? When you answer that question, it usually has to do with whose lives you've impacted while you were here and you had time to do that. So I have come to the realization, and I try to share this with so many others, that we need to leave our footprint. We need to leave a mark. We need to have reached somebody's lives, some others' lives, and enhanced it in some way through our passing and through our interaction. And if you can do that, that speaks to the quality of life that you live and having left your mark. What is your epitaph? That's what it comes down to. Increasing that dash is symbolic of your impact here, and it will go beyond your leaving here. Mm-hmm. It's what you leave behind.
Wonderfully said, Paul, and I agree with you. We must do something to make it worthwhile to us as well as those behind us, because my legacy, I wanted to be a legacy of service. I've accomplished quite a few things in my life, and I wanted to continue. It's not about the money, but the way that you leave a committed heart to helping your fellow man, if at all possible. Well, Paul, I want to thank you for being available. It's been my pleasure, my brother. This concludes my very first interview. And to those who have a chance to see what we have accomplished here, please feel free to get in contact with me, Maurice Marshall 930 at gmail.com, or my cell, which is 202-413-4883. Or for those of you on Facebook, inbox me or use my email address. Keep in mind, I'm looking forward to hearing from alumni who have from the 80s, 90s, 2000, and beyond. We're trying to grow our alumni group, and we cannot do it without you. Okay, that concludes it. Thank you very much.
We need you. That was good.